Welcome all. Today we will see module 3. So the first part of module 3 is feedback and the second part is power amplifier. So we will discuss what is feedback and out of that what is negative feedback, what are the advantages of negative feedback and what are the topologies present in a feedback. So these many things will be discussed here. So first of all, Harold Black invented feedback amplifier in the year 1928. So in the year 1928, Harold Black invented feedback amplifier. So feedback is nothing but taking a small portion or taking the output, small portion of the entire output and connecting it back to the input. So we have come across many feedback till now in many of the electronic circuits. So feedback is nothing but the certain portion of the output is taken and connected back to the input. So in the feedback there can be any of the passive components also. So feedback can be either positive or negative. So it can be positive, also known as regenerative feedback, and also it can be negative, known as degenerative. This is degenerative and this is regenerative. Positive feedback or regenerative, negative feedback or degenerative. So the first thing what we have to study is general feedback structure. How will be a feedback structure looks like. So we'll see this figure gives the general structure of a feedback amplifier. So we have the general open loop amplifier having gain A. That means there is no feedback, just a open loop amplifier structure, just an amplifier without feedback having gain A. And the input of this amplifier is Xi, output of this amplifier is XO. Okay, so the general feedback structure when we are considering, we have a source, we have a load, then we have a open loop amplifier, then certain portion of this output of this open loop is connected back to the input. Certain portion of this output of the amplifier is connected back to the input through a feedback path having gain beta. Through a feedback path or feedback network having gain beta. So you can see here in this figure, the source have a source signal XS, and what is reaching the input of the amplifier is Xi, and the output of the amplifier is XO, which is connected to the load. So this XO is connected back to the input through the feedback network beta. So the output of the feedback network is XF. So this XF and XS can be added or subtracted. That means it is mixed. Two inputs are mixed together. XS and XF are mixed together, or this circuit is known as a mixer. So it can be an adding signal or a subtraction signal. That means it can be XS plus XF or XS minus XF. So here considering subtraction, that is XS minus XF. So we can write Xi is nothing but XS minus XF. So this is the general structure of a feedback amplifier. Here we have written the signal as X. It can be either voltage or current. So generally in the signal flow diagram which you have studied in the control system, this structure is nothing but a signal flow diagram of a feedback amplifier where the signal is represented by X. The signal can be either a voltage signal or a current signal. So you see here the various terms associated with this general structure. So you can see here what is the output XO. So the output XO is output of this amplifier having gain A and input Xi. So I can write XO is equal to gain into Xi. XO is equal to gain A into Xi. What is XF? XF is the output of the feedback structure where the input is X0. So we can write XF is equal to beta into X0. XF is equal to beta into X0. And what is Xi? Input of the amplifier. That is nothing but the mixed signal of XS and XF. So I can write Xi is equal to XS minus XF. So considering these all things, we can write the closed loop gain of this feedback amplifier. Closed loop gain of the feedback amplifier or gain of the amplifier with the feedback. So considering this entire figure, What is the output? Output is XO. What is the input? XS. So AF is equal to, output AF is equal to XO by XS. So what is XO? What is XO? XO is equal to A into XI. What is XI? A into XS plus XF. Okay. What is XF? XF is nothing but beta into X naught. What is X naught? A into Xi. So A beta Xi. So we will get here, if you are doing this one, we will get here X naught is nothing but A into Xi. X naught is equal to A into Xi. So A into Xi is replaced by Xs minus Xf. So here Xf is nothing but beta X naught, where X naught can be written as A into Xi. So dividing it with Xs, we will get it as A by 1 plus A beta. Or else we can see here this one, AF is equal to XO by XS, that is XO by XI plus XF. So XO by XI is XO by A plus beta XO. XO will get cancelled. We will get it as A by 1 plus A beta. We will get the answer as A by 1 plus. So here we can find it as XO by XS is equal to A by 1 plus A beta by proper substitution. By proper substitution, we will get it as gain of a feedback amplifier is A by 1 plus A beta, where beta is the feedback factor, A beta is the loop gain, and 1 plus A beta is known as the amount of feedback. So these are the terms associated with this. You have to be very careful with these all terms. Beta is the feedback factor, A beta is the loop gain, and 1 plus A beta is known as amount of feedback. Next is certain conditions we will be explaining. So the condition is, if A beta, if this loop gain A beta is very much greater than 1, what will happen? Then this A beta is very much greater than 1, then A and A will get cancelled. This A and A will get cancelled. We will get the answer as 1 by beta. So the feedback gain AF is equal to 1 by beta. That means the closed loop gain of a feedback amplifier depends only on the feedback network, not on the main amplifier network. It depends only on the feedback parameter beta. So that is the first thing. That means the gain of the feedback amplifier is almost entirely determined by the feedback network. Next we will see some properties of negative feedback. Some properties of negative feedback will be explained. So this used to be asked for exams, so you have to study this one. Some properties of negative feedback are, first one, desensitize the gain. Second one, extend the bandwidth of the amplifier. Third one, reduce the effect of noise. Fourth one, reduce nonlinear distortion. Then it can control the input and output impedance. So there are 5 properties. Here only 4 has been mentioned. One more is there: desensitize the gain, extend the bandwidth, reduce the effect of noise, reduce nonlinear distortion, and control the input and output impedance. So what do you mean by desensitize the gain? Desensitize the gain means it makes the feedback amplifier make the value of gain less sensitive to the variation of value of the circuit parameters. That means even if the circuit parameters or temperature changes, the gain will remain constant, will not change much. That means the gain will be less sensitive to the variation of external parameters. Second one, it will extend the bandwidth of the amplifier. Obviously it's direct meaning the bandwidth of the amplifier will be increased if you are using a feedback structure. Third one, reduce the effect of noise. That means it minimizes the contribution of unwanted electrical signal generated to the output, so that the output won't have any effect due to the noise. It will minimize the contribution of noise to the output. Next is reduce nonlinear distortion. That means the feedback structure makes the output proportional to input. That means the gain will be almost constant. Output will be directly proportional to input. That means it will be having a linear distribution. It will reduce the nonlinear distortion. And the last one is control the input and output impedance. That means by choosing a proper feedback structure or topology, we can control the input and output impedance as per our requirement. Either if you want a high input resistance or low input resistance, that can be controlled using a proper topology in a feedback structure. So these are the properties of negative feedback. Now we will explain it one by one. First one, gain desensitivity. That means we are making the gain less sensitive of the change in or variation in the parameters, device parameters. So we know the closed loop gain or the gain with feedback AF is equal to A by 1 plus A beta, where A is the open loop gain, A beta is known as the loop gain, and 1 plus A beta is known as amount of feedback. So if we are differentiating it on both sides, if we are differentiating this equation on both sides, we can write dAF by dA is equal to 1 by 1 plus A beta whole square. dAF by dA is equal to 1 by 1 plus A beta whole square. Or else dAF is equal to dA by 1 plus A beta whole square, or dAF by AF is equal to, if you are dividing this equation with the first equation, we can tell this one dAF by AF is equal to dA by A into 1 plus A beta. This A beta square and 1 plus A beta will get cancelled. 1 plus A beta square and this will get cancelled, and what remains is dAF by AF is equal to 1 by 1 plus A beta into dA by A. What is the meaning of that? That means the percentage change in AF, dAF by AF means what? Rate of change of AF with respect to AF, right? So the percentage change in AF due to any variation in the circuit parameter is less smaller than the percentage change in A by an amount equal to amount of feedback. So you can tell dAF by AF is equal to dA by AA into 1 plus 1 by A beta. That means percentage change in AF due to variation in some circuit parameter is smaller than percentage change in A by the amount of feedback. Amount of feedback means 1 plus A beta. So this 1 plus A beta is also known as desensitivity factor. This is how feedback will be desensitizing the gain. Now the gain is less depending on the change in parameters. You can see it is by a factor of 1 plus A beta, the sensitivity will be reduced. So the next one, bandwidth extension. So we have seen the high frequency response or high frequency gain of a amplifier in the last section we have seen, it is nothing but A is equal to Am by 1 plus S by omega. In terms of S domain, if you are telling, A of S is equal to Am by 1 plus S by omega H, where Am is the midband gain, omega H is the upper 3 dB frequency. We have seen those all things, right? This is omega H, upper 3 dB frequency. So apply the negative feedback with a frequency dependent factor beta. If you are considering the negative feedback, if you are including the feedback, what will happen to the cutoff frequency that we are seeing? So through that, if the cutoff frequency is increasing, we can tell the bandwidth also increasing. That is, we have figure like this. Now the presently this is omega H. So if it is increasing to certain this one, we can tell bandwidth also increasing. So that is what the method we are going to use. So you can see here, applying the negative feedback with a frequency independent factor beta, closed loop gain. What is closed loop gain? We have seen the closed loop gain AF is equal to A by 1 plus A beta. So in the term of S domain, AF of S is equal to A of S by 1 plus A beta, beta into A of S. So substituting the value of A of S here, substituting the value of A of S here and here, we will get the equation like this: Am by 1 plus Am beta divided by 1 plus S by omega H into 1 plus Am beta. So here if you are seeing this equation, we can tell now the midband gain, now the so if you are comparing this equation, AF of S is equal to Am by 1 plus Am by 1 plus Am beta by 1 plus S by omega H into 1 plus Am beta. So here the midband gain, if you are comparing this both equation, the midband gain is nothing but Am by 1 plus Am beta, and the upper cutoff frequency omega H is nothing but omega H into 1 plus Am beta. So you can see there is an extension in the upper cutoff frequency by an amount of feedback 1 plus Am beta. So midband gain and upper 3 dB frequency is given here. So the amplifier bandwidth is increased by the same factor 1 plus Am beta, by which its midband gain is increased. Maintain the gain bandwidth product constant. That means for an amplifier, we know the gain bandwidth product, gain into bandwidth should be a constant. Always gain into bandwidth product should be a constant. So here also that will agree. So you can see the here the previously the gain is Am, now the gain is reduced by Am by 1 plus Am beta. But previously the cutoff frequency was omega H, now the omega H is increased by a factor of 1 plus Am beta. So gain into bandwidth will be a constant. It is reduced by 1 plus Am beta, it is increased by 1 plus Am beta. So both will get cancelled. So the gain bandwidth product will remain constant. Similarly, if you are going for the low frequency response of a feedback amplifier, has a lower 3 dB frequency given by omega L by 1 plus Am beta. So the upper cutoff frequency increases by a factor of 1 plus Am beta, and lower cutoff frequency decreases by a factor of 1 plus Am beta. So if you are going to draw the frequency response, this is the previous omega L and this is the previous omega H. Now the omega H is increased to certain value here, omega L is reduced to certain value here, then the bandwidth will increase. Okay, this is the second property of feedback amplifier. Next is noise reduction. So the third property is noise reduction. So we can see here the structure of an amplifier. This amplifier suffers from noise this amplifier suffers from noise, and the noise can be assumed to be introduced at the input of the amplifier. So the input of the amplifier is suffered with a noise Vn. This is the source voltage Vs, this is the output Vo, this is the open loop voltage gain AF. So it is suffered by a noise Vn. So we have given Vs is the input signal, Vo is the output signal, Vn is the noise or interference, A1 is the gain. So what do you mean by signal to noise ratio? It is nothing but ratio of signal voltage by noise voltage. So it is normally Vs divided by Vn. So for a particular good circuit, signal to noise ratio should be very high. That means signal strength should be more than the noise strength. So signal to noise ratio is given by Vs by Vn. So now in order to improve the signal to noise ratio, that means in order to reduce the effect of noise or improve signal to noise ratio, negative feedback can be applied. So you can see here what we have done here is, this is our first stage structure which we assumed or we considered initially. The gain is A1 and it is affected by a noise Vn. So now we have cascaded this structure or preceded this structure with another amplifier, which is a clean amplifier, means that does not have any noise content. It's a clean amplifier. A clean amplifier is connected. After that our affected by noise amplifier is considered. So both are cascaded. Cascaded means what? Connected together. So if you are using a structure like this, we can improve the noise. So you can see a affected amplifier structure preceded with a clean amplifier, and a feedback is provided like this. So we will verify it. Here what is the output voltage Vo? So using superposition theorem we are going to consider the output Vo. What is superposition theorem? First we will consider one source, not considering this one. We will see what is Vo. Then we will consider Vn, and not considering Vo, we will see, Vs, we will see what is Vo. So what is Vo? Vo is equal to Vs into, what is the overall gain? We are not considering this Vn, it is short circuited. So Vs into A1 A2 divided by 1 plus A1 A2 beta. So the gain of this circuit will be, we are not considering Vn here, Vo is equal to Vs into A1 A2 divided by 1 plus A1 A2 into beta. And next one, we are not considering this one, we are considering only Vn, source Vn. So Vo is equal to Vn into A1, Vn into A1 divided by 1 plus A1 A2 beta. So Vo is equal to Vs into A1 A2 by 1 plus A1 A2 beta plus Vn into A1 by 1 plus A1 A2 beta. So here what is the signal to noise ratio? Signal to noise ratio is nothing but Vs divided by input signal strength divided by noise Vn, Vs by Vn. So this differs only by the parameters A2. So signal to noise ratio is Vs by Vn into A2. So you can see the signal to noise ratio is improved by a factor A2. So the previously the signal to noise ratio was Vs by Vn. Here it is Vs by Vn into A2. So we can see by using a structure feedback like this, signal to noise ratio can be improved. So the next property of a negative feedback amplifier is reduction in non-linear distortion. So here we have shown a graph having two curves, curve A and curve B. So the curve A shows the transfer characteristics without feedback, and curve B shows the characteristics with negative feedback, having feedback factor beta is equal to 0.01. So this one we will be explaining mathematically. So we can see here the open loop voltage transfer characteristics of an amplifier. That means we are not considering the feedback, only the open loop characteristics. The gain can be seen here in the graph like, so the gain changes from 1000 to 100 and then to 0. So you see here what is gain? Output by input, right? Gain is nothing but output by input. So here, wait one second. Here the output is 4 and the input is like 0.04, this area. So the output is 4 and the input is 0.04. So the gain will be 4 by 0.04. Gain is 4 by 0.04, that is 1000. Later you can see here the output will become this area. Output will become like 1 and the input will be like, input is like very less, 0.01. In that region we can tell it as 100 and then it will become 0. So the gain will be 1000, then 100, then it will become 0 in the case of curve A. But in curve B, so curve B, before that we will see, for curve B, the negative feedback with the feedback factor of beta is equal to 0.01, we can find the gain in two steeps or two sections. So slope of the steepest segment and the slope of the next segment we will be finding here. Slope of the steepest segment and the next segment. So steepest and next segment will be found here. So what is the gain of with feedback? A by 1 plus A beta. So steepest segment gain is 1000, other one gain is 100. So 1000 by 1 plus 1000 into 0.01 and 100 into 1 plus 100 into 0.01. So you can see here the gain reduction is like 90.9, then 50. There is not a much variation is not there. 90.9 is reduced to 50, whereas without feedback it was like 1000 is reduced to 100, then to 0. So we can conclude like the order of magnitude change in slope is considerably reduced. The way the amplitude changes or the way the magnitude changes is considerably reduced. But these all things are done with a reduction in voltage gain. Even if we have explained these many properties like reduction in noise, reduction in nonlinear distortion, bandwidth extension, desensitivity of gain, these all things are achieved with a one disadvantage, that is disadvantage of negative feedback is gain is reduced. So we have seen what is the gain? Gain is A by 1 plus A beta. Gain is reduced by a reduction factor 1 plus A beta. So these are the properties of a negative feedback. This is an important question. So once again I repeat, the various properties of a negative feedback are extension in bandwidth, desensitivity in gain, controlling the input and output impedance, reduction in nonlinear distortion, reduction in noise. These are the advantages of a negative feedback, and the disadvantages, amplifier gain will be reduced. Gain is reduced. In next video we will explain the 4 basic feedback topologies.